Hi everyone, Dustin Hoffman here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of this new Billy Woods and Kenny Segal project, Maps. Prolific, consistent, and cerebral New York rapper Billy Woods, he is back, coming through with a new album after a pretty busy 2022 where he put out 2 full-length albums. There was Church, which I wasn't personally crazy about, but we also had the stellar Ethiops, which for my money is handily one of the best records out recently in the current abstract hip-hop field. Now, on his new project, he's kind of going back to a watershed moment a handful of years ago in his discography, because the passionate cult following that Billy Woods currently has was slowly earned over a course of years with record after record. But the 2019 record Hiding Places, which was produced entirely by Kenny Segal, generated a very large amount of attention for Billy around that time. Easily one of the most popular records either of these two have been involved with. And so with fond memories of that album piling up, these guys have decided to link up once again for a full run of songs on Maps. Now, if anything was already clear from Hiding Places, these guys match each other really well in terms of vibe. Kenny's often loose and groovy drums, jazz samples, and weird textures provide a lot of open space for Billy to work his lyrical magic, especially on the slowest and droniest cuts of this project, such as Baby Steps or the blood-curdling Hangman. Now, as far as Billy goes on this record, he has a style that he's really been fine-tuning for years now. I feel like I've listened to and reviewed so many of his projects at this point that I kind of forget to re-explain or reintroduce exactly as to why he is so unique and so interesting of a rapper. I just kind of take his greatness as a given. But as longtime fans know, Billy's distinct delivery and flow usually borders on sounding like a super expressive spoken word piece. His dark humor, dry wit, and frank delivery are a deadly combination, especially given his esoteric reference game and gritty imagery. All of which you can hear on the opening track Kenwood Speakers, which is very much a self-portrait of sorts. Delivered over fat, booming, compressed hits of bass from Kenny, Billy describes driving a beater with aftermarket speakers. He's wiretapped in the way that he's running. He should be kissing babies essentially like someone running for office. He also takes a second to account for the continuous misfortune in his life, talking about how, hey, even when things are good, remember, God is a hater. Following that up with Crocodile Tears for 10 years don't do me no favors, which I think obviously is a comment on his career. Generally, I would say this track is a pretty accurate depiction of Billy's overall vibe, which I think he effectively dives even deeper into on the song SOUNDCHECK, where he depicts himself as dodgy and elusive even in the context of a live performance, saying he won't be at SOUNDCHECK and he won't be in the green room if it's too lit. He lists a variety of reasons he won't be at this SOUNDCHECK as well as places he'll be at instead. The way the verse flows and repeats, it works a lot like a very topically focused piece of slam poetry. Plus, I love the beat, all the jazzy upright bass loops, the boom bap drums, the random metallic perks kind of popping up in my periphery here and there, the eerie keys that swell up later in the production too. It adds a very cinematic touch to these very rugged and raw bits of instrumentation. Jazz turns up again as a key influence on the track Blue Smoke, where you have lots of speedy rides and walking bass, setting a very fast tempo. Billy hits us with a rapid-fire, free, associative chop suey, which hits a funny peak once he starts rapping from the perspective of FBI agents who are trying to keep track of all the stuff he says. The vibe on this track is contrasted pretty hard with the following short vignette, Bad Dreams Are Only Dreams. The fragmented samples and loops on this cut sound like the dour jazz soundtrack to a black and white detective movie. Meanwhile, Billy pulls together a very surreal verse where he draws a lot of parallels with imagery of a plane crash, which obviously pretty dark, pretty grave. However, we do have an interesting mood switch up later on the LP though, with cuts like Agriculture, which sees Billy rapping with a softened demeanor about things like growth and hope. He depicts himself as a man who's trying to give up his old ways or put himself in a better place, though you still kind of see the residuals of his past life creeping in on him. There are relatively idyllic feelings to the song NYC Tapwater as well, that honestly feels pretty unique for a Billy record, which is helped greatly by the watery keys and lazy beats provided by Kenny, who brings a very versatile array of beats and production on this record. You really don't know what you're going to get next. Whether that's some very slick and well-oiled jazz rap instrumentation, or something much slower and heavy and foreboding and ominous, creepy even. Then another plus for the album is the excellent array of features on it. You have Quelle Chris on SOUNDCHECK, who in his own way backs up a lot of the themes that Billy's bringing to the table. Sam T. Herring of Future Islands fame brings a really nice and moody sung-rapped vocal appearance on the hook of the song FaceTime. Veteran lyricist extraordinaire Aesop Rock appears on Waiting Around, which I've never heard Aesop phone in a guest verse before. He certainly doesn't do it here. Elucid appears on this record a couple of times, and if you're not familiar with him, he is the very throaty and cryptic other half of the rap duo Billy Woods, is currently active in Arm & Hammer. After years of working together, their complementary chemistry is pretty much a given, especially as he takes the reins on the closing track As the Crow Flies, which finishes off with a very short but potent contribution from Billy about fatherhood and mortality. Detroit legend Danny Brown also appears on this record, and his feature is amazing. Not only is it hype and aggressive like a lot of his old school verses used to be, but there's a lot of wild and standout lines here, even ones that make Danny laugh in real time at his own pen game. Maybe my personal favorite is one where he's saying, dude's illiterate, can't read the room we in, so get your camera out. It's a movie then? Curly Castro and Prem Rock, who Billy's been known to cross over with a few times, appear on this record, as well as their own duo Shrapnel, quickly trading off mini verses back and forth over the course of the song Babylon by Bus. Though, sidebar on this one, I don't want to forget to mention the closing verse from Billy on this song, which I think is handily one of the best and most classic of his catalog so far, because it's just so him, with standout one-liners like, caught him lacking on 9/11, I lie down like V.I. Lenin. People don't want the truth. They want me to tell them grandma went to heaven. Now, there are a few cuts on this project I would say are a bit too predictable by Billy Woods standards at this point. If you've been listening to his music for as long or maybe even half as long as I have, namely moments like The Layover as well as Houdini. But I suppose even average Billy Woods cuts are above average, a few cuts above average actually, than what's generally out there. The hook on Rapper Weed I found to be a little clunky and too repetitive across the length of that track too. Could have been retooled maybe. And Soft Landing I think features my least favorite instrumental on the entire LP, with these very messily strummed and trebly guitars not lining up that well with the very loose bits of percussion across the track, plus those honking distant tones that pop up deeper into the song I think are pretty unflattering as well and just feel really out of place. This song would be a complete loss in my opinion, if not for the particularly determined verse and performance from Billy on this one. Outside of that though, I think this record, while a little bloated and dense with tracks, we do have 17 cuts here, a lot of them are shorter. I think the project is actually great and a slight improvement upon the last record that Billy and Kenny did together, because I think it's a bit more ambitious, covers more bases, showing their creative chemistry, has the capability to see them just kind of doing some wild and random stuff here and there. But yeah, great left field hip hop offering from Billy and Kenny, feeling a decent 8 on this one. Transition, have you given this record a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head, it's another video you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Billy Woods, Kenny Segal of Forever.